Heyo! My name is Curci, and this is a review for Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. I want to start off by saying that this game is really fun. It is best looked at as a pirate game because it takes the popular naval gameplay from Assassin's Creed 3 and builds an entire game around it. Although this game can be a huge amount of fun, this sixth installment into the Assassin's Creed series isn't a flawless game. You play as Edward Kenway, the grandfather to the previous Assassin's Creed protagonist, Connor Kenway, and I am happy to say that Edward is a much more interesting character. The game is an Assassin's Creed game, but for most of the game, Edward isn't an assassin. He's a pirate with the attitude to back it up. He is a narcissistic, cocky, arrogant individual whose only goal is to obtain fame and fortune. A backstory is given to Edward throughout the game in the form of flashbacks, which helps cast a different light to the character, giving a bit of humanity to him and making him not come off as a complete jerk. Throughout the game, Edward's motives aren't exactly aligned with the goals of the assassins. He's a pirate first who just happens to cross paths with assassins and Templars alike. Through the campaign, just like in any Assassin's Creed game, you will come across historical names like Blackbeard, James Kidd, as well as others. The story of AC4 isn't going to be considered the strongest of stories in the AC series, as I find that the main campaign lacked a proper villain, which can really bring a game together or hold it back. When I played the game for the first time, there was a moment where I thought one character was clearly going to be the main villain, as I actually hated this specific character. It is the kind of reaction good storytellers would want in an antagonist, but the game flips the script, and at the end I find myself battling another villain. While it did make sense to do it the way it was done, I was a little bit disappointed that the developers decided to go that route. The character development of Edward is a good one, but doesn't come close to the awesome story of Ezio in AC2. The present-day timeline also makes a return to the game, but instead of playing as Desmond, you play as a nameless, faceless Abstergo employee. Abstergo, in AC4, can actually be viewed as the in-game version of Ubisoft Montreal, as they seem to be developing a line of Assassin's Creed games in an Assassin's Creed game. Sounds silly? Well, I agree, and although it was a clever way to somewhat continue the present-day story, I still personally believe that the future of AC games should actually abandon this aspect of the games altogether and create a story solely based in the historical eras. This game's mechanics suffer from what most AC games suffer from these days. The combat system is still mindlessly easy despite the 4 or so different enemy types thrown into the mix, and free running isn't as smooth as it should be, as Edward will often dive into haystacks when you want him to just keep running forward, or you might run up a small wall and fall back down when all you want to do is jump over it. There is no reason to upgrade the weapons of Edward, as you'll still be countering all the enemy attacks. It's basically the same old story with an Assassin's Creed game. But the game is based around the naval system, which is drastically improved since AC3. The combat is better, it's open world sailing, you can attack, board, and pillage almost any ship that you come across, which will actually come in handy when gathering materials to upgrade the Jackdaw, and yes, you will need to upgrade the ship when going through the game. You can customize your ship to your liking, and collect music sheets in towns that your crew will sing as you sail to your next big target. You can hunt life on land and at sea, search for treasure, do side quests, hit convoy fleets for good coin. This open world is filled with a lot more things to do than the frontiers of nothingness in AC3. Instead of recruiting assassins like in Brotherhood, Revelations, and AC3, you build a fleet which you can send on trading missions, and while it makes sense to use the same general system from past games, I could have done without the little ship battling minigame. I did, however, miss being able to call in assassins to take care of some pesky guards. While the game's strength is clearly when at sea, it is noticeably lacking when on land, as you'll either be tailing another target for the 100th time, or having to eavesdrop on a group of guys while you continue to tail them for the 100th time. It gets old really quick, and it makes me want to ignore the main story altogether and just have fun at the helm of the Jackdaw. The multiplayer of AC4 is a fun game type as always, but it makes a few changes, such as the removal of chasing instances and adds in custom game types as well as a co-op mode. The co-op play is a little dull and boring, but it's also the best way to grind out levels. Most likely, however, you'll be having the most fun when playing the classic AC multiplayer. It's not going to win any awards, but it's fun for what it is. AC4 may not be the best of the series, as it doesn't deliver in all areas, but for an open world pirate game that is best played when on the high seas, it is incredibly fun and a unique experience. Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag may actually be the redeeming game that the Assassin's Creed series desperately needed. It's not perfect, but still fun. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.